In today's video, I'm going to share with you exactly how much money you would need invested into 10 different higher yielding dividend paying ETFs to reach a total of around $100 per month in dividends. Now, what's going to be interesting about these 10 different higher yielding dividend options is that they've all either been in my portfolio at one point in time and or I'm currently holding them as we speak. So obviously I'm more or less sort of a fan of all these, which of course by no means that they're good ETFs or that you should buy them. I'm just saying that I personally am a fan more or less of all of them. So if you want to see exactly how much you would need to invest into every single one of these different high yield ETFs to reach $100 per month in dividends, make sure to stick around, drop a like down below, and let's get right into the first one. Real quick, for those that haven't already, make sure to go to the first link in my description and grab my new dividend investing ebook, where I share exactly how I went from $0 invested to now earning over $6,000 on a monthly basis and over $1 million invested in the markets. Along with the ebook, you're also going to receive my custom dividend tracker, where you can track your dividend progress on an ongoing basis and reach your dividend investing goals. So make sure to grab yourself a copy of my dividend investing ebook and the new dividend tracker today. It's the first link in my description. So we are for the most part going to be starting with some lower yielding options and getting higher and higher yield more or less as we go. But one of my favorite higher yielding options that offers around a 5% starting yield, this has been in my portfolio for years now. I'm talking about Divo, the Amplify CWP Enhanced Dividend Income ETF. Now I'm a huge fan of Divo because it not only offers, like I said, around 5% starting yield, but also has grown significantly over time and with very, very low volatility. Now, as of where Divo is trading currently, it's offering a 4.52% trailing 12-month dividend yield and pays investors, including myself, anywhere from around 15 to 16 cents pretty consistently on a monthly basis. Now, going off of that math, because Divo currently pays around 16 cents more or less per share per month, an investor would potentially need to own 625 shares of Divo in order to reach that $100 monthly goal, or pay around $25,000 invest into Divo to reach $100 per month in income. Now, the next ETF is going to get an investor to that $100 goal a little bit quicker. We're talking about another one of my holdings, JEPI, or the JP Morgan Equity Premium Income ETF. This ETF was very, very popular a few years back. I still hold a ton of it, although it's not my favorite cover call style ETF or income focused ETF. It honestly hasn't been the worst investment. It's up around 15% on the max time frame and has been paying a pretty good amount of income, at least historically speaking. Now, JEPI currently has around a 7.22% trailing 12-month dividend yield and pays investors anywhere from around 29 cents up to around 43 cents on average, at least over the last year or so, which means an investor in theory would probably need to purchase somewhere of around 270, 280 shares of JEPI in order to reach $100 per month in dividends. And because this ETF is currently around $58 per share, that means an investor would have to purchase around $16,000 worth of it in order to reach $100 per month in income. The next ETF is one of my favorites. This is sort of the gold standard as far as income-focused covered call style ETFs, and this is just because how good this ETF has done, at least over the last short term. Now I'm talking about JEPQ, or the JP Morgan Nasdaq Equity Premium Income ETF. Again, this is a very well-known one. I'm sure you guys even watched this video, might hold on to it. Now, JEPQ in the max time frame is only up around 6.18%, but keep in mind, up until this most recent dip, JEPQ was up around 10-15%. This ETF was on a run. Now, JEPQ currently offers around a 9.79% trailing 12-month dividend yield, so a little bit higher than that of both Divo and JEPI, and has been paying investors anywhere from 56 cents as of recently down to 34 cents and anywhere else in between. Now, that means that just going off of estimations, an investor would potentially need to invest around 217 shares of JEPQ, which currently costs around $52 per share, or around $11,000 into this one to earn $100 pretty consistently, more or less per month, as far as income goes. Now, another super popular ETF, at least back in the day, not so much anymore, but QYLD, or the Global X Nasdaq 100 Covered Call Style ETF. Again, this one is still in my portfolio. I've held around 2,700 shares of this one for years now. Now, QYLD sort of has a bad rep because it has decayed as far as ETF price over time, but on the short term over the last year, this ETF has paid around a 12% yield and basically traded flat, so I'm not really complaining. Now, like I said, around 12% trailing 12-month dividend yield for QYLD, which is not bad whatsoever, especially like I said, even if it trades sideways, I don't think any of us are going to be complaining about earning around 12% per year. Now, QLD pays a pretty consistent 17 cents more or less distribution every single month, and because it costs around $17.50 as of right now, that means an investor would have to only invest around $10,200 into this one, theoretically speaking, to earn $100 per month in income. Another covered call style higher yielder that I'm a huge fan of, SPYI, or the NEOS S&P 500 High Income ETF. This is a relatively newer ETF. It's been trading for just a few years and is only up around 2.34% on the max time frame. But again, this ETF has paid massive distributions, at least historically. Now, SPYI is currently offering around a 12.01% trailing 12-month dividend yield. And what I like about SPYI is that it pays more or less the same exact amount as far as distributions go every single month, anywhere from around 49 to 50 cents, which is kind of nice, especially when you're sort of forecasting how much income you're looking to be receiving on a monthly basis. Now, because SPYI currently pays again around 50 cents more or less per month, that means an investor would potentially need to buy around 200 shares of it, which based off of the current cost of SPYI, we're talking around $9,900 invest into this one to potentially earn around $100 consistently per month. Now, another NEOS ETF, QQQI, this is a very similar strategy to that of SPYI, but this one tracks the NASDAQ, which gives it a little bit more premium and a higher distribution, at least historically. Now, this ETF currently pays around 62 cents more or less consistently on a monthly basis, and because it costs around 49 bucks, an investor would potentially only need to invest around $7,900 into this one in order to receive around $100 per month. Now, another one of my favorite higher yielders, this has been in my portfolio now for around a year. We're talking about SFOL, which is currently actually trending down on the max time frame, but on the 1 year is only down around 4.9%, and with that 16-17% yield, investors like myself are still made whole. Now, SFOL currently offers around a 17% trailing 12-month dividend yield and is offering investors like myself a pretty consistent 30-cent distribution ongoingly for a while. Now, this means that investors in theory would only need to purchase around 333 shares of it, which currently are costing around $21.90 per share. So they would in theory need to invest around $7,300 in order to earn $100 per month consistently off of SFOL. Now for the rest of the video, we're going to get into some of the higher yielding territory. So make sure to drop a like down below and subscribe if you're into this kind of thing. We're talking about SPYT, the Defiance S&P 500 Target Income ETF. This is a newer holding in my portfolio personally, and this ETF has paid around 33 cents consistently, more or less, since inception. Now, this means that based off of the previous payouts and SPYT's current price, an investor would potentially only need to invest around $5,757 into this one in order to earn around $100 per month, which is massive. Now, as far as an ultra yielding ETF, this is one of my new favorites. I do own just a few shares of this one. This one is very risky, and again, anything can happen with any of these ETFs at any time, so trade at your own risk. I'm talking about ZIVB, the 1X Short VIX Midterm Future Strategy ETF, which surprisingly enough, even with the massive yield, is up around 32.53% in the max time frame. Now, this ETF offers around a 25% yield, and as you can see right here, pays investors around 49 cents consistently on a monthly basis. Now, this means that an investor in theory would only need to invest around 204 shares of this one, which currently costs around $19.60 per share, or $4,000 into ZIVB in order to earn $100 per month. Now, last but not least, we have to include this in this video, the very popular newer ETF, the Round Hill Innovation 100 0 days till expiration covered call style strategy ETF, QDTE, which does pay out income on a weekly basis. Now, it's hard to know exactly how much investors should expect to earn from this one on a monthly basis, but just based off of the most recent payouts, if an investor is expecting to earn, let's say, $1.20 on a monthly basis, on an ETF that costs around $41 per share, an investor potentially would need to invest around $3,400 to earn $100 per month in income. Again, could be very risky. Make sure to look into it on your own. So those are 10 different higher yielding ETFs that can all offer investors $100 per month in income consistently with different amounts invested. Now, out of every single one of the ETFs we went through and talked about in this video, what's your number one favorite and why? Drop the ticker symbol in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like on it and subscribe for more future content like this. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.